Hello everybody, it's Kathy Champion and I am back in my craft room, and today we are actually going to start the kickoff of our Christmas in July. Everybody always loves Christmas in July. I've already had some questions today about, actually last week, about that. So I thought I need to get busy on a card. This particular stamp set is in our new annual catalog, and let me show you where that's at in the catalog in case you're interested in going and picking it up. I thought this card was just absolutely adorable, and I do apologize, I should have looked this up before I came on here, but it's okay. We'll get through this together. It is called Still Seen, and it's on page 58 of our new annual catalog. 558. Oops. One more back. It is this stamp set right here. It does come with coordinating dies. Here's our dies. And this is such an intricate set with what it allows you to do. If you look over here, you can see some of the many, they've mixed these with some other stamp sets, but these are gorgeous. And you can also get the sequins that you can actually use inside. They also, it comes, you can purchase the little shaker domes, and I'll show you what those look like. And we're going to actually use one of these today, so you will get an idea of exactly how they work. But you get 10 in a box, and I believe it's 10. I know the catalog tells you how many comes in a pack, but they have adhesive on the front and the back, and I'm going to show you how to use those to make a really cute little shaker card. I'm going to go ahead and leave one of these laying out, and I will also have all of the order numbers and the description of what they are in the video as it plays, and also I will have everything listed in the description box below. So when you look down under this video, you'll see a little drop down. If you'll click on that, it'll say show more, and if you click there, it depends on whether you're watching on your tablet, your phone, or your laptop. So depending on what how you're looking at this video will determine where you need to go to get that. But most everybody that's familiar with YouTube knows their way around. So anyway, what I want to start off with is I want to do our card base first. And what I have here is the Night of Navy that I want to do our card base out of. And I am going to take a piece of this, and we're just going to cut this down. I'm going to move my inks. I have the Real Red and my Tuxedo Black and the Memento, and of course our little dome that we're going to use to make the dome for the snow globe. This is going to be a snow globe card. I also have some very thick, the thick Whisper White, and we're going to use that to make our little elements that's going to go inside of our card. So I think this is going to be so much fun. So I'm going to bring out my trimmer, and I'm going to trim this 8.5 by 11 down, putting the 11-inch side to the top of my scoreboard, and I'm going to bring it over to 5.5. And we are just going to cut this into, making sure I get it on the 5.5. And we're just going to slice that. And while I have that out, I'm going to score this next. So I'm going to move my cut blade all the way up. I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. And now we have our card base is completely done, and we'll crease that down with our bone folder in just a moment. But I'm also wanting to cut this piece. I need to cut a piece off of here that is the same dimension as this, because we're going to need to put a piece inside here that will back up our cutout piece, and I'll show you what I mean as we get there. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut this down to 4 1/4, and this should fit. I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off of one side because I don't want that to fit so flush that it won't open. So there, just 1/8 of an inch, and I could have cut that down when I did, but it's just as easy to do that. And you see that bare little sliver, 1/8 of an inch is all I took off. So that way when this piece goes in here, it will sit flush. Your card will still close without this hanging out. So sometimes you just have to make a little bit of room for when you're building something like this. Okay, the other thing that I want to do, we're going to also mat the front of this card. So we've got a lot of fancy footwork to do. The first thing I want to do is decide where I want my snow globe to be. And to do that, I am actually going to pull off the snow globe from the die set. And that's this piece right here. And what I want to do is I want to lay it down on my card base because we need to cut this piece first. And let me show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my die machine because I want you to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to actually turn it like this so hopefully you can get a better view of what I'm doing. Now I am going to lift off my plate. And I am going to lay this in here just like this. And this particular die machine has a magnetic plate. So it's really nice because it allows me to put my die down where I want it without it moving. So I think I want my snow globe right about there. And I'm going to go ahead and put my cut plate over top of it. And then I'm going to hold my plate and feed it through. You do get a little bit of a thump when it goes all the way through. Not a big deal. Now I'm just going to lift that up, and we have our snow globe now cut out of there. You can save this little piece. You could use it for a sentiment or something else at some point. But for right now, that's all we need to do there. Now the second thing we need to do, in order to know exactly where we need to place our snow globe when we stamp it out, will be to lay this piece down flush to this piece, just like this. And what I want to do is I want this to even right here on this edge. And I'm going to lay it down, and then I'm going to take a pencil, and all I'm going to do is trace, not the whole thing, just a few little lines in here, just to let me know where that other piece will need to lay. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when we get ready to put that piece down. So see, you can see my solid line across here, somewhat solid, and then you can see the domed, and I don't know if you're seeing that there. The light shining on it, I think you can see. It just gives me a little bit of a template so that I can see exactly where I need to go. And I did come up with a pencil mark right there, and I didn't mean to. So if you do that, just take your eraser, a nice clean eraser that will give you a clean tip, and work on that. Now this is what I have in mind, and I'm going to show you a piece that I worked on. This is what I want to live here. And when I get ready to put this down, now I'm going to go back through and show you how to make this. I'm just showing you where we're going with this. And then our little snow globe is going to, this has adhesive on both sides here and here. And when we get ready to do this, we are going to pop the snow globe, the little plastic piece, through this opening. And then we are going to glue it down directly to that. That's why it's important for that piece to be positioned exactly where we want it. And then we're going to put the bottom of our snow globe, the base of it will go on the outside here, and we will still have room up here for a sentiment. So I think this is coming together exactly the way we want it. So I do have one more thing I want to do. I want to cut another piece here that is going to allow me to do an overlay, which will be matting this part of the card. I think it's going to be beautiful, and we're just going to have fun with this. And I have temporary adhesive on the back of this so that I can play with it. I never ever bring y'all a card without doing a little bit of trial and error work myself prior to doing it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to cut down a piece of this heavy or the thick Whisper White, and I'm just needing a small piece, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 4. You can hear how rich that is because you can hear the way it cuts through. And I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. It doesn't have to be that big, but I'm just going to cut it because this will give me a mat for another card, and this piece will give me what I need to stamp on. So what we're going to do now is we are going to pull out some stamps, and that's always the fun part. And here we go. Look at those beautiful, beautiful stamps. May the timeless message of Christmas fill your hearts and home with joy today and always. Is that not beautiful? And that little house scene. This was after I colored it. Is that not gorgeous? And I may just stamp it to show you how I stamp and cut. And I may just come back and use this one for the sake and the time of the video. But anyway, let's go ahead and pull this one off. Maybe we'll do this one here. I also want to do, this is the base for our snow globe. So I think I want to, let me look at the picture of that. Yeah, I'm thinking I want to stamp that off right there. And then our snow globe, and we also have some snow. See this little piece right here? That pops out of the center. And I just kept this in the center of this to kind of help it to hold its shape. So whenever you get these red rubber stamps and you put your little backers on them, I would suggest to keep them in your cases like this. And if you notice, I even kept my piece of backer paper so that I can lay that down right over top, and it helps keep that adhesive to stay sticky. Just another little tip of how to take really good care of your stamps. And I am a stickler for taking good care of my stamps. Y'all know that. They are an investment, and I treat them as such. Alright, I need one more color ink. What did I do with that? Oh, it's right here. I'm going to use my Balmy Blue, and I'm going to use my Real Red and the Momenta Tuxedo Black. Now each one of these I want to do in a different color. Red, black, and blue. So the reason for that is I want this all to be different. I want this to look like glass, so we're going to do the Balmy Blue, and I do think that I want to stamp off. So let me grab a piece of copy paper. Copy paper is such a good thing to have on hand whenever you're doing your stamping, because sometimes we don't want that full color on our item. So I'm going to take this and just tap it to my ink pad, and see, I got ink where I don't want it, and I know that. So I'm going to grab a little where's my microfiber towel? Well, I had one just a moment ago. Oh, here it is. I had stuck it in a different place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my finger and I am going to wipe that ink off, because you do not want ink there. That should be an empty spot right there. So if you have ink on yours, you might want to just wipe it off and then tap off like that and then stamp. And that's all you need. You did not need that full color on there. So now what I need to do is come over and clean the stamp just a tiny bit. And I'm just getting it wiped down enough so that you know, the ink doesn't set on it. And then I'm going to grab this one. And I think I'm going to stamp it right about here. Maybe right there. And we're going to do this in this real red. This is such a beautiful Christmas red. So if you treat yourself to a red ink for the Christmas season, I would highly recommend this real red. It is gorgeous. You're going to see as soon as I stamp this down just how pretty this ink is. So right there, just like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful, beautiful red ink. Perfect for all your Christmas stamping. Okay, that one's all nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and put the Balmy Blue up because we don't need that right now. And you heard that snap. Anytime you're using these inks, make sure you hear that snap when you close them, because that way it assures that your ink is sealed. And I love that snap. That lets me know that they're closed. Now what I need to do, and I think I'm going to pull this off and lay it right there. And I'm going to grab this one, and we're going to do this in our Momenta ink. Y'all are hearing noise because all of a sudden my printer decides it wants to do something over here, and I don't know why, because I have not sent anything to it. Alright, so this one is all inked up and we're going to stamp it right here. Just hold that and let it transfer and up. Beautiful image. Absolutely gorgeous. So now we've got all of our ink pads closed, which is a good thing, because y'all know that I don't do well with ink. I usually end up with it all over me. Let's see how I did. I do have a little bit of the black. Hey, no red. How about that? That's a first for me. So the next thing before we go any further is I think I want to go ahead and color this particular stamp image. I'm going to decide what color I want my house to be. In this one, I did use a green. I used a crumb cake for the tree limbs, and I used a dark spruce, I think, for this. But let's see if we can do our house a little bit different this time. And let's do our house in, how about if we do our house, I was going to do it blue, but that's not going to work because we need that blue for that. Let me look at this color. This is Bermuda Bay. That would be a pretty color for the house, but I think it's going to bleed into the trees too much. So you know what? I think I'm going to go with the same color that I did before. And maybe even for the sake of the video, of it not being so long, I might just pull this off and use it. Y'all saw that how I did this, and I'm going to show you how I cut it, and then we'll use that one. But I'm going to go ahead and bring my 3 dies out, and also my embossing machine again. And we're going to set this back up here. And I'm going to open up these dies. And if you notice, there's two ways that you can cut the die. You can use this one that will give you a beautiful embossed image and cut, or you can use this, or you can use these together. You can use them together. We're going to use this one because we're going to just be cutting out the image itself. So that one's going to go there. This is our little house and the trees, and this is our snow globe. And I may go back and cut this out in a red cardstock and see what that looks like. We may even go with that. Like I said, this particular stamp set and die set gives you so many options that you will be wondering, okay, which way should I do this? Oh, I love it this way, but I also love it that way. And which way should I go? I really do embrace stamp sets that have coordinating dies. I think it makes life so much easier. And for any of us that do not enjoy fussy cutting, fussy cutting is, it's something that you either love or hate. I don't care for it, but I do know the more I do it, the better I get. And there are times that you do have to fussy cut. But you know what? If there's a set of coordinating dies like this that comes with something, I say grab those dies, especially if you can bundle and save 10% on your stamp and your dies. Why not do that? I love saving money, and I love getting my dies. Now you saw how I just ran that through with one swipe, and look at this. And this is the thick Whisper White, and it cuts so beautifully. Look how pretty those cut out. I love it. Alright, I'm going to lay this over here, and I'm going to put my dies back where they belong. And let's get these cut plates out of our way. And now we are ready to work on this. Now, like I said, if I was going to color this, I would have already done it. And I will just save this for another card. And we're just going to go ahead and go with this one since I already have it done. I think that will be a time saver for all of us. So we'll put that one up there. And I'm going to move the stamps over there. Now we need to bring this back. But I am going to go off camera just for a moment because I want to see if I can find either a background die that I can cut out, an overlay for this, or either an embossing folder that I can run this through. I'm not sure exactly how I want that to work yet, but I know that I want to do something different with the front of this. So give me just a minute and I'll be right back. Okay everybody, we are back, and I found this beautiful little snowflake embossing folder. This is not a Stampin' Up, so I'm using contraband, but that's okay. I did not have any Stampin' Up snowflakes or anything like that. So I'm going to use this one, and I am going to see if I can find my plate that I need to use to emboss with. And there we go. And let me bring my machine back up. And all I did was folded this around the top of the card. And I'm going to open the card up. Let me get my base plate and my magnetic plate. And we're going to load that in, and I'm going to load this in just like that, and we're going to put the embossed plate over it. This is like you don't really have to think about your sandwich. You just put the plate over that you need, and you run it through. So there we go. So now we have embossed this card. Oops. It's a good thing that wasn't a heavy one because it just fell on my dog's head. That little plastic one did. Look how pretty. Look at that. I love the dimension of embossing. That is so super cute. Okay, so now I'm going to lay my embossing folder up here. I'm going to put this plate back over here. I don't keep it with the embossing machine because when I emboss, I'm usually right here and I just reach back there and grab it. So let's see if we can go ahead and start to put this together, because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with the way this card is going to come together. So what we're going to do now is where I made, on this piece right here, where I made this, this little, where I drew the opening of this card, we are going to line this up, and I'm going to use some permanent adhesive on it. So I am going to get out my regular snail, and I'm going to put a piece there, and a piece there, and a piece there. And then I am going to sit that down right on top of that drawed image. Now that should line up perfectly in here. Remember, I said we wanted to shake the inside down to there, so we make sure that it's all going to adhere properly. So now the next thing we want to do is we want to take our, and what did I do with it? Oh, our little dome. And we are going to use this. We're going to take the backer off of it, and I'm going to use take my pick tool just to lift up, and all you want to do is just get under the edge of it and lift up that adhesive. And once you lift it, the whole piece will come off, just like that. So make sure you take it off of the top first, and then what you're going to do is you're going to drop it right inside of that piece, just like that. And then you're just going to press that down all the way around, and now this has become a shaker card. Was that easy or what? If you feel intimidated by shaker cards, you're going to love these. They also, the Celebrate Sunflower also has the jar one, and we will be working with that probably a little bit later after Christmas in July. So now what we want to do is we want to figure out exactly where we want to adhere this piece of cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive around and about, you know, where I strategically where I feel like it need it to be, and I'm going to use snail. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece across there, and I'm going to do a piece around there, one under here, and then a piece across the bottom. And I think that will pretty much give us what we need to adhere this to our card. So what I'm going to do is I am going to line this up flush with this side, just like that, and then press it down. Now that was so easy. Was that not easy? And look, we have a shaker card. Now if you had wanted to put some snowflakes in here, which I meant to do that, but I didn't cut them ahead of time, you could also use some little sequins or anything in here to make this an actual shaker card. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can lift this back up. We can. Let me grab some sequins. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and I have these beautiful little sequins that are diamonds, but they also look like snow. So I am just going to put a few of those, just like that, in there. And all you want to do is put them into your dome. Don't try to put them onto your card because they're going to come loose. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back to the edge of our card, and then we are going to close it down and mash it. Give it a good press. You don't want to take out your embossing, but you want to give it enough of a press. Now look at that. We have a beautiful shaker card. Look at all that beautiful snow. And it is in there. It is not going anywhere because this is nice and adhered. So now what we need to do to give this some color, we're going to bring this, and if you notice this cut up a little bit high, so I'm going to take my paper snips and I am going to trim this off just around the top edge, just to give myself a nice even, and I think I'm going to cut off that corner edge right there. You know what? I may just go ahead and fussy cut the rest of this out. You know why? Because I don't think I want that white showing. So, you know, sometimes with the dies, you do get that. And a lot of times I'll go back and trim out just a tiny bit. Depending. Sometimes I like that white to show, but this particular time, I don't think I want that white. And these paper snips are wonderful. I had always used cutter bees, but I just got these in my last order, and I love them. They are awesome. So now we can put this right here, and it looks like our snow globe is a real snow globe. And I think I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals or some foam tape. I think I'm going to use some foam tape to pop that up on, because if I can find it, there we go. I just want something that's going to give it enough of a dimension that it's going to sit up like I want it to. And I think this piece of tape is going to do just that. I think I might have cut that just a tad bit too wide or too long. Now, let's see. I think that's going to work really, really, really well. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool just to pull that off. And now this is ready to go on. And I'm going to lay it down and then just slide it up until I get it perfectly where I want it. Just like that. And then press it down. Now all we need to do is our sentiment, and I need to decide what wonderful little banner that I want to use to put my sentiment on. And I have got an idea of what I want, but I'm not quite sure yet. And let me think about my sentiment, and then we're going to come back and we will finish this card. But I want to go and see if I can find exactly what I'm looking for my sentiment. And I wanted like a little bowed banner, if that makes sense. So let me go check my dies and I will be right back. Okay everybody, I'm back, and guess what? This Toile Christmas, it was when I opened the new catalog, the new annual catalog, this was the first Christmas stamp that I saw that I was like, I have got to have this. It is stunning, to say the least. And if you are like me and you love a cardinal, look how big, look at how large this bird is. What a statement he is going to make on a card. And yes, it is a he, because he's got the crown and he is going to be ruby red. But I mean, look at the size. This is him against my snow globe. I mean, look at that. He is big. That will make quite a statement on a card. But that's not what I was excited about. Look at this Christmas wishes. It's a banner, just like I was looking for. And we also have this one, May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. And that could go there. But I really like Christmas wishes. So I think I'm going to go with it. And I think I like that little sentiment for inside. Or maybe, I don't know. I am so indecisive, y'all. I know y'all hear me say that every time I do a card, but y'all know I am. So, let's go back and revisit. Maybe this one. May the timeless message of Christmas fill your heart and home with joy today and always. I think with it being a house there, that would be the perfect sentiment that we need to use. So that is going to be my sentiment of choice. And of course, we could have done the season's greetings, but I'm more of a Merry Christmas kind of person. I don't like when people take Christ out of the Christmas season. It's just not my thing. And when somebody says Happy Holidays, I will always say Merry Christmas. It is just who I am. All right, this particular set, stamp set also comes with coordinating dies. So not only do we have the stamp, but we have the die to cut this out with as well. So I want to do this, and I'm trying to decide what I want to. I think I'm going to do it in red because I think it will coordinate top and bottom with that beautiful real red. And I want to do it out of this the same. Let's see, I don't think it's going to fit on that, so I am going to have to cut another piece, which is okay, not a problem. We still have this piece, so we'll just stamp it up here and cut it off the top, and we'll still have all this bottom to use for something else, so it's all good. I'm just going to grab this stamp block, and I'm going to grab my real red, and we are going to load that up with some ink. I am going to bring it over here and stamp it out just to make sure that I'm getting a good image. Yeah, need to stamp it another time or two. Oh yeah. You know, when you first get a stamp, sometimes you do need to stamp it a couple of times. And just let it absorb the ink. And sometimes just, you know, cleaning your stamps, especially if you're using a good stamp cleaner, that will also make your stamps stand better. So I'm just going to wipe that off and get that excess ink off of it. And wipe it off right here. And then we're going to dab it again. And then I'm going to just stamp it down. Oh, beautiful. So pretty. I am going to stamp this off again on here because I like to be able to stamp. Look at all that excess ink. And this will not go to my, and I'm just going to twist it just a little bit. Just clean that ink off of that stamp. And then when I take it to my Stampin Scrub, I don't have to put quite that much ink down on it. And then my stamp is clean and ready to go the next time I get ready to use it. Isn't that gorgeous? Alrighty, let's lay that one right there. And again, I want to bring up my my die cut machine because we're going to cut this. And actually I don't think I am. I think I'm going to go off camera and cut this, and then we'll come back and we'll adhere it on the card. I might even color this ribbon in a little bit. Haven't really decided yet. We'll see. I really kind of like the white. I'll be right back. I'm going to cut this and then we'll put it on the card. Be right back. Alright, we're back and I got this cut, and look how gorgeous that looks up there. The only thing it needs is some Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're going to pop that up with some of them. And then we're going to do the inside of this card, and we're going to call this our first Christmas card for Christmas in July 2020. I am thrilled. I'm telling you what, if you struggle with what to make and what dies to use and what cardstock to use, try Stampin' Up. You will not struggle with those issues anymore because they make everything so easy with the way everything coordinates. And I mean, it is just a wonderful, wonderful company. And you know, if you are maybe one of those people that say you can't afford it, come in as a demonstrator. You'll get your discount. You'll get $125 worth of product for $99, which is called your starter kit, but you can pick anything you like out of the catalog. Any stamp set, any bundle, any suite, you can choose whatever you want. Any tools. The main reason I signed up was to get that trimmer because I wanted that trimmer, and look where I'm at now. Hard to believe, huh? Okay, I think now what I want to do is I want to do a piece of white, and I think I'm going to grab the other piece of, Let's see, would this work? No, I mean, you need a bigger piece than that. So let me just grab a piece of white. I think I got some white bases down here already cut. I usually keep some of these already ready, but they usually do have to be trimmed down to be inside for the card. Not a big deal. We'll just bring this over and we'll cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. So basically we're taking 1/4 inch off of each end of it, off of one side and the bottom, or the top, not both. What that does, it gives us that 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So this is going to go in right here, just like that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and stamp it. And I want to stamp this right about here, and I think I want to do it in that red, just like I stamped everything else, because that's going to definitely take our card to the higher level that we want it to be, because it coordinates everything together, and I love it when they coordinate. So let's go ahead and ink that up and give it a stamp. Oh, look how beautiful. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful stamp. And so now this is ready to go into our card. I'm just going to let that dry just for a second before I turn it over and run snail on it. I still wanted to kind of do some little shimmery something or other across here, but I don't want to take a chance of messing up my card. So what to do? I really love it like it is. I think it's just gorgeous. I think it came together really well. It didn't take us long to put this card together either. So this is ready just to go right inside, just like that. And y'all look at that. That card is done. What a stunning card to get from someone, or a stunning card to give. You know, I love cards that have a wow factor, and this one definitely has a wow. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I can't wait to see what y'all do. And if you're interested in this stamp set and these dies, go over to my website. The address is right there, and you can order any of these products that I showed you today. And I hope that you enjoy. I'm going to zoom y'all in just a little bit so you can see just how beautiful this card is. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Look at that shimmer of those little snowflakes bouncing around in there. I love it. I think it is so cute. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and look for some more videos throughout the month of July. We're going to do more Christmas in July. I have pre-order in for the Christmas items that's coming in the new mini catalog that will be available August the 3rd. I can't wait to show y'all the beautiful Christmas items in there. Y'all know that I love, love, love Christmas, and hopefully I'll get those things in before the end of July, and I'll be able to come to you with some new products. But I do have some a few things up my sleeve between now and then that I want to showcase. So until we craft again, God bless you always. I love each and every one of you. You are a part of me, and I love you dearly, and I thank you for your support, for your love, your kindness, the way you, just the way you always support me and uplift me. It means everything. So thanks again. I just hope you have a very blessed day, and until we craft again, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven, for He is so worthy. Bye-bye.